388-3011.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you won't want to miss. I say that every week, but this week, really, we have such a fantastic lineup of guests. A live show. You could call us at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. We have some HR, actually hiring tips for you. We have Mr. Floor himself. Mr. Floor himself is here in studio, and we have Nellie Rowland from A Safe Haven talking about her work to end homelessness. And I'll be sharing tips at the end of the program on customer service. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or give them a call at 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510. And as always, you get on my website, shalomklein.com, to download podcasts from Get Down to Business to make sure you don't miss a minute of it, even while you're traveling and on vacation. So first up on the program, I have Igor from Mr. Floor. Mr. Floor himself, family business, and a business that has, I believe, handled literally hundreds of flooring projects for commercial and residential projects alike. Igor, welcome back to Get Down to Business.
Thank you so much, Shalom. It's great to be back with you.
Absolutely. So your list of flooring clients is extensive, but perhaps one of the most prominent is the Chicago Bulls. In fact, many of our listeners that visit at the United Center has probably seen your logo, and now they could put a voice to the logo, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone that's gone to a Chicago Bulls home game recently, actually, well, when I say recently, in the last 4 years that we've been associated with the Chicago Bulls, has probably seen the staff wearing the Mr. Floor logoed T-shirts at the United Center, and we're there to make sure that the court is ready for action at all times. We're wiping it, we're cleaning it, we're making sure that the Bulls are given every opportunity to win, and we want to help in any way we can.
And in full disclosure, Igor's family actually joined us here at the studio, and I've asked if Igor dresses in Benny the Bull pajamas, and they have assured me that that is not the case. So he is he's truly a Mr. Floor, and the Chicago Bulls is just where he likes to spend his time and cheer on the teams at the United Center. But you have other clients as well, and you've handled flooring projects for homes all over the Chicagoland area?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're based in Skokie, and our range generally is about 75 miles from our home base in Skokie. So we go up to southern Wisconsin and to eastern Indiana and down into virtually southern Illinois. So we have clients really that run the gamut of residential and commercial projects. We do very high-end homes. We do regular, for example, floor refinishing in the local area. So, anything that one might need for, any sort of floor repair, floor refinishing, floor installations, consultations, anything along those lines is really up our alley.
So when you say that you're based in Skokie, is there a showroom that people can see some of your products?
There is. So we're based at 3828 West Oakland Street in Skokie. We've been there for almost 30 years. This is our 30th year in business now. So we have a beautiful showroom. We have many different products on display, lots of different species of flooring. We have cabinetry on display as part of our kitchen and bath department. It's really more of an idea center, Shalom. We want to welcome people there and really just sort of, pick different products and different elements that might work for them. We do a lot of consulting. We don't expect people just to walk in and say, well, I like this or I like that. I mean, they may like an element from here and from over there, but we're the ones that kind of help put everything together.
When a lot of people buy houses, they have an idea in mind of what they want the house to look like, but often people are disappointed because maybe one piece of the house is the way they want it to be. Maybe it's the shape, but maybe the flooring isn't quite what they dreamed about, what they imagined. Maybe it's actually their wife that actually that is not sort of feeling the floor. So I know that there's a lot that goes into the selection process. Can you give us the quick sort of wood floor buying 101? And I know it's not just wood flooring. I know there's a lot of types of floors, but tell us sort of the thought process and the idea process, the dreaming process, if you will, that goes on.
Sure, absolutely. So a typical consumer would walk in or potentially call in and say, look, I'm looking for a wood floor. I mean, it's a very generic statement. They themselves don't quite know exactly where to start. So we start with asking a series of questions. Maybe it's a color, maybe it's a texture, maybe it's a particular look. There's lots of different species that we work with on a regular basis that can offer different looks. For example, if a client is looking for more of a traditional type decor, they're not going to want to look at flooring that might be very clean and sleek. They may be looking for texture and grain structure and grain patterns. And so we have species that will allow that sort of process and pattern to come to fruition. In other cases, if we're working for a client that has a very contemporary type decor style, we have products, for example, like maple, which is very, very clean and sleek, Brazilian cherry, which also is very clean and sleek, maybe some walnut. So those are species that we will use to kind of enhance that type of decor. So it starts as a very simple conversation, but then we get very, very in-depth with every client that we work with in trying to understand what their needs and requirements and desires are. And then we have in our sort of wheelhouse all these different products and species to work with to make that happen.
And you mentioned something very, very important, that you actually ask a lot of the questions, understanding that your customers may not know what they are looking for, and that's really important. And I've seen your showroom, and I've seen the variety of options that are available. What many of our listeners may not know, they may have seen Mr. Floor, they may have seen the cool outfits at the United Center at the Bulls games. But there are some great cleaning products that are available also. And you actually have a great website with a lot of information listed. And, of course, we'll make sure to remind our listeners of the ways that people can actually shop online and find out a little bit more about the work. But tell us a little bit about some of the other products that you offer as well.
Yeah, so we would encourage all your listeners, Shalom, to go to MrFloor.com. So that's www.mrfloor.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, we have a tab called Store. And if you were to click on that tab, what you'll, in essence, be able to see are all of the different care products that we have developed ourselves over our many, many years in business. And all these products are designed to specifically clean each intended surface. So, for example, we have a wood floor cleaner. We have a tile and grout cleaner, countertop cleaner, and natural stone cleaner, and a newly released wood cabinetry cleaner. These are all very, very specific. And so because we handle and we treat all of those surfaces, we want to make sure that we have cleaning products to be able to have our clients use on a regular basis to protect their investment. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of incorrect cleaning products out there. So it seems like a very small, maybe insignificant piece of the overall maybe restoration project or installation project, whatever the case might be. But the requirement is to maintain it correctly. It's kind of like changing the oil in your car, making sure that your car is at peak condition. So at MrFloor.com, we discuss all of those cleaning products. As I said, we develop them, we manufacture them, we're intimately involved in all aspects of it. We want to make sure that we protect the investment.
Well, here on Get Down to Business, we love to feature and profile entrepreneurs and successful business owners and folks that have a story. And Igor and the team at Mr. Floor have a story. As you mentioned, you have a history. You have not just been doing this just for the past few days, weeks, or months. You've been in business for a while, and as you mentioned, showroom in Skokie. How long has Mr. Floor been around?
So, as I mentioned earlier, we're on our 30th year.
Amazing.
The business was opened by my dad in 1987. I have been actively running and managing the business since 1993. So we're technically a second-generation business. We're extremely proud of it. We have grown tremendously over the years, and the relationship with the Bulls and the relationship with many of our, even just residential clients, and the word-of-mouth referrals has been really the driving force for all of our growth over the years. So we want to thank everyone for their support, but 30 years is a significant milestone, we feel.
That's a huge milestone, and once again, you have some very prominent relationships like the Chicago Bulls. You've handled many interesting clients, universities, and many interesting residential clients, but you handle all types of businesses and houses, and you have a great story to tell. So once again, a lot more information available on your website, I believe, Igor. So if you don't mind sharing that one more time for our listeners.
Sure. So the website is www.mrfloor.com. That's mrfloor.com. Or simply call us at 847-674-7500. If it's easier for you, just send a quick email. It's info@mrfloor.com. So, or certainly come by and see us.
That's right there in Skokie. So mrfloor.com, a lot of information about the floor buying process, and they ask a lot of the questions for you. Coming up, we have Linda Nichols, who is going to be talking to us a little bit about hiring professional talent. You're listening to the show that's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Don't touch that dial. You won't want to miss my conversation with Linda coming up right after the break.